Welcome back, people. Long time we haven't seen each other, so today we're gonna talk about another game that is a little bit different from Stalker, but it has the same elements that we love in Stalker. SCUM is a game where survival isn't just a challenge, it's a full on war between you, the harsh wilderness, the unpredictable dangers of human nature, global PvE and PvP. If you are diving into SCUM in 2025, you're in for one wild ride today. Whether you're here for the crazy combat, the deep crafting mechanics, or the sheer thrill of survival, or you're just curious and want to know more about this game, we got your back in this video, so I'm gonna share with you some essential beginner tips so I can help you stay alive and thrive. So, what kind of game is SCUM? SCUM is a very interesting game. It is a hardcore survival game, which is PvP and PvE as well. It is a multiplayer PvP PvE game where you just drop from a plane with cuffs on and a parachute to land. As soon as you land, you start using all of the means to survive. You are trying to survive against the environment, the weather, the puppets, the other players, etc. One thing you need to remember is that the island is controlled by a tech company which actually controls and experiments people, more precisely prisoners. You are all prisoners that got selected by the program to be experimented on. In your head there is something called BCU chip, and if that chip goes blue, you are happy, you have plus points, plus money. But if that chip goes red, that's when you need to be concerned, because the red chip are the puppets with, which means you're gonna be introduced. If your chip goes red, you're gonna be introduced to something called permadeath. Permadeath is when your character dies and everything that you own is not yours anymore. You need to make another character, you need to start all over, and in the best scenario, raid your own base and car. First thing first that you need to do is choose your character. As you can see, you can choose whether to be male, whether to be female, whether to... never mind. Okay, that's not important, that doesn't affect the gameplay. So, the thing that actually affects the gameplay is attribute values. I hope I said that right. So you have strength, you have constitution, you have dexterity and intelligence. The question is what kind of player you are, what kind of gameplay you wanna play. If you wanna build, if you wanna play slowly and get more cautiously into fights, then you need dexterity and intelligence, for example, because dexterity gives you a very good skill in lockpicking, while intelligence gives you a very good skill in medical, which is patching yourself up pretty fast, building, which is very useful in this game because you're gonna build a base, and of course the farming and the other survival skills like camouflage, etc. So in the strength sector, the interesting part is that the most people that want to fight, they don't use that strength very much. The thing that the PvP gamers use over here is the constitution and dexterity. It's interesting because constitution gives you the strength to hold on through hell, literally. So it gives you the strength to run longer without food, to stand more hits and more shots, of course, etc. One thing you need to remember about this is never put them all on 3.0, which means basic. It is like in real life, like literally, if you are familiar with a lot of things, you are never gonna know one thing fully. You are only gonna know half of those things that you are familiar with. But if you get familiar with one thing deeply enough to be an expert in it, that's when those skills start getting useful. So, the attribute values are very important, but be free to try anything. Like literally, be free to try only strength and dexterity, for example, and see how it goes. Be free to try intelligence and constitution or intelligence and strength and see how it goes. You can always restart the game if you feel like the skills that you're using are not fitting your gameplay. You're gonna fall down off a plane. Open the map, orient yourself on the map. It's a little bit harder with your awareness skill lower, but don't worry about it because there is times when you're gonna get used to it. While you're falling, don't worry about not getting your hands uncuffed because you're gonna do that sooner or later, even automatically in the game. When you land, you need to choose a place where you can land near some smaller villages, because in the official servers there are a couple of clans that want to control some point of interest, meaning big cities. So in the beginning you should be aware of avoiding those. Small cities and the nature, the forest is gonna be your best friend. Start with the basics. When you spawn in, don't rush out into the open just yet. Never sprint. Always jog when you are near some village or some building or any kind of point of interest. Also, it is smart of you to jog in a forest as well, because most of the time while you're running, you're gonna trigger zombies, which in this game they actually spawn the more sound you make. Meaning, the less skill you have in stealth, the more you're gonna spawn zombies around you. The essentials always come first: food, water, and stone knife. So when you make the stone knife, I would suggest you make the stone axe right away, because it's much stronger, it lasts longer, and it's gonna be of a great use for you for making lots of things later in the game. Many people take a spear, but I don't prefer the spear because the animation of the spear is a little bit longer, so you are not gonna be able to fight off more than one zombies with the spear. So the smartest thing to do is to grab a small stone axe for a beginning and just crash on those zombies. So don't forget that you can craft shelter out of tree branches or even a tarp if you're lucky enough to find one. You can craft a small shelter where you can hide. At the beginning, the environment, especially the forested area, the bushy area, is gonna be your best friend, literally. So the weather in SCUM can change fast. 1 minute it's sunny, the next is pouring rain, etc. So you need to always keep an eye on the temperature, make sure you're prepared with proper clothing. Good hat, gloves for cold weather, and some lighter clothes for warm weather. The most important thing you need to turn your attention to is that bank cards, it is important because without it you cannot buy fuel. So be careful and always watch out for your bank cards. It is important to know that later in the game you can buy a golden bank card that actually boosts your limit in putting money in the bank that you can do from ATM. ATMs can be found in some of the bigger cities, and also you can find ATM at the gas stations as well. With the money, you buy the sector where you want to spawn, and you also buy gold, which actually allows you to spawn in your base. So after you have your own base, always make sure to buy at least 1 gold so you can spawn at your base when you get killed. In order to fully use the trader, you're gonna have to have at least 120 fame points, depending on the server. On official, I think the number is even higher. You need the fame points to literally exist in the game. If you go with the fame points in minus, which you lose every time you die, especially if you die from a player, you're gonna lose the most fame points. That's why many people play it safe over here. So you need to be careful, and you need to have patience and play it smart. The best way to get the fame points is by exploring, learning the map literally, building, crafting, repairing, all the survival things you need to do so you can live another day in this game. The crafting system, when you open and you look at it, you get a little bit confused because there's a lot of pictures, a lot of information, and a lot of reading. But don't worry guys, it is not complex as it looks like. Literally anything you want to craft, you just need to write down one word. For example, lockpick, you need enter, you find it, you click on this, and then if you are not sure what materials you need to craft what item, you just click on this button over here on the bottom left, and it shows you detailed information of everything you need to craft that certain item. Another tip is always fight smart, not hard. When combat comes knocking, it's tempting to go full Rambo, but trust me, in SCUM that can be a quick ticket to death. Use your environment, always be aware of your surroundings. Set traps, hide in the bushes, or even take out enemies from a distance. You don't want to be surrounded over here, and always watch out for the stamina. So many people avoid close encounters, but many times you can be left surprised and bump into another guy into a room and you have no choice except to fight. So always keep in mind that fighting smart, not hard, it is a ticket for surviving in this game. Running around like a chicken with his head cut off is a surefire way to get yourself killed. Survival isn't just about keeping your character alive. Over here in this game, it's about enjoying the experience. Embrace the challenges, don't be afraid to experiment with new strategies, new approaches. This game gives you that. Literally, you can choose whatever gameplay you want. So there's no one way to play SCUM. That's what makes it so exciting. That's it for today's beginner's guide in SCUM. Stay safe guys, keep your wits about you, and most importantly, have fun. See you out there, survivor, and take care.